Oh my gosh, I feel like a kid in a candy store. I am so sick of cold weather and ice storms. So March and April just happens to be the perfect month to come out and catch pre-spawn largemouth bass. It's a great time of year to take a chance on catching a giant, but we've got a nice breeze. So I'm gonna start out throwing reaction style baits, bladed jigs, swim baits, spinner baits, out in the kayak, no snow, no ice. This is gonna be fun. Here we go. What do we got here? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, my first bass out of this pond. My first bass out of this pond has got to be 7.5 pounds or better. Oh my gosh, look at that. Very, very first bite. We're going to the shallow water. I think there's gonna be a lot of bass down here. I don't think there's a lot this size, but I hope there is. Check this fish out. I mean, way more than my whole hand in its mouth there. I do have a scale. I almost gotta know what this thing weighs. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. I ain't bad when your very first bite is 7 pounds, 6 ounces. It's worth all the hassle. I'm telling you, this is a place that's not easy to get to. I got a lot of wind blowing, which is great for fishing. If you can find a watershed like this that doesn't get a ton of pressure, March and April are the months to come out here and potentially catch a fish of a lifetime. Since this is my very first fish that I've caught here, I don't know that I'm not gonna catch a bigger one, but you know what? It's already worth the trip. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Let's get this thing back in the water. Man, we've only got 3 feet of water right here. That's why it's a really good idea if you can to bring a depth finder. I mean, you could always try to check it this way, but I know I've got 3 feet of water and the temperature keeps rising. Now we're almost at 54. There we go. Looky there. Beautiful 2-pounder here. This one hit a spinner bait up here in this shallow water. Now there's a mud line right here in front of me. Right on the other side of it, it looks like it gets about another 6-8 inches deeper, and that's where this fish was setting. So that mud line makes its way around. I don't have a big area there, but I got a feeling there may be more. Oh man, that fish come off. Came back and hit it again. Looks about like the one I just caught. They are in here and they are choking this spinnerbait down. Here we go. It's a little better fish here. There you go. I'll tell you what, you come out here and there's nothing more fun than running a spinnerbait in real shallow water. And all I'm doing is I'm pulling this bait just fast enough to keep it off the bottom. I don't want to pull it too fast, but if I keep my rod tip way up in the air and keep the bait just an inch or two off the bottom, man, they're just sitting here feeding up, getting ready for that spawn. You can see that it's got a big fat belly. And man, when they hit a spinnerbait, you just see your line take off running. And that's exactly what that joker just did. Oh, do you see that thing swell right there at the boat? That thing tried to get in the kayak with me. It literally was 4 feet from the boat when he hit. I'll tell you what, shallow water, early March, April, spinnerbait fishing, it doesn't get much more fun than this right there. Here we go. Another about a 2-pounder here on this spinnerbait. Here we go. Oh, I lost him right there. There, oh, there he is. Oh, it's a little bitty one. I'll tell you what, if you know of a watershed that is shallow and is really, really hard to fish in the summer, consider getting on it early in the year before that vegetation comes up. And a kayak is a great way to access a body of water like this. And man, I'll tell you what, if you want to catch really big fish, come out early. And I mean, starting in March, early March. And if you're in for numbers, then you might want to make it later on in April. But throwing a willow blade spinnerbait, a swim jig, a bladed jig, a swim bait, something that you can move slow in really shallow water is such a great way to target these fish, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you what, I've had a blast today. This is a watershed lake that was actually impounded in the 40s or 50s. And the reason for this impoundment was to make this land more fertile. They thought it would sit here for about 10, 15 years, drain out, and the land would be more fertile and be used for crops and actually for growing tobacco. Well, it never drained. And now here we are, literally 70, 80 years later, and this impoundment is fantastic for catching fish.